Okay, what we're going to do now is go through all the different options, and we're going to start off with option 1 here, create a DMC takedown and receive for forwarding. As I said in the introduction, this is basically a DIY version of the DMC takedown. There may be a reason you want to make a DMC form. You may not know the actual address at this time, so you want to basically then forward it when you find out, or you have some other reason to actually receive it and not, or do the automatic versions, which are the options 2 to 7. Whatever the case be, this is a DIY version, and it'll give you the actual details here of what will happen, okay, and some of the requirements needed as you go through this form. Also, if you want to, and if you've not actually looked at the intro video yet, you can look at it here. It will just pop open and you can watch the introduction to the whole process. Okay, now you'll notice I've got two forms open. I'll make it so they both look the same at the moment. Okay, two forms open, and that is simply because there are two methods of using this form. I'll correct myself there. There are 3 methods, but 2 that will actually result in actually having a DMC takedown form sent in whatever form. So I'm going to press next, as I've selected option 1, so I'm going to press next. I'll do that on both forms. Okay. The first stage of the next part of the form is step 2. You'll roll in the complaint. Okay, this gives you the option of 3 different ways of looking at this form of approach, and this is why I've got 2 forms open, because what you can do is you can actually send it as the copyright owner, which is the person who actually owns the picture or has bought the picture, owning the copyright from the artist, paying a fee for that, of course, or you could be an agent for the copyright owner. That means you could be the lawyer representing the artist. You could be an agent who actually finds work for the artist and therefore is legally responsible for the artist's work, or so forth. So you can choose these 2 options, and then there is a third option, which you'll see what happens, because I'm just going to show you now because it's pretty straightforward. Basically, you may want to just do an anonymous tip or something, or send off a third-party complaint, and that's this option here, number 3. But the thing is, if you click that, you'll find this form. I don't know whether they can do it on other forms, but this form specifically, you can't do that, so it just tells you you're not allowed to unless you're an actual legal representative or you're the actual copyright owner, the artist, and so it asks you to go back to the home page. For this though, I'm going to choose the copyright holder. On the other one, I'm going to pretend I'm an agent, and so I click that one. Instantly you notice as I click this, different aspects appear on the form. Okay, so I'm going to go through this one first. Here it says the copyright holder's name, so I'm just going to choose a specific random name to use for these form tests. I'm not going to use my own details. So let's say, for instance, we're going to call ourselves Bob Artist. Okay, that's my name. On this one I'm going to call myself John. This will autofill because I've already been testing these forms, John Doe. But I also have to put my name as a legal office, so okay, I'm going to put John Doe and Son. Okay, that could be also the agency name if you're using an agency firm. Okay, and you'll notice then that allows me to then go to next. Okay, so press next on both of the forms. What appears then is the information about the actual artist. It says your details, but obviously if you're an agent it means, and it refers to the actual artists and artist contact details. As I said, I'm going to put in the information that I did before. One point I should remember and tell you at this point, because we've gone through into the form to some extent, you'll notice it has a previous button as well, just in case you think you've made a mistake in part of the form, be it after or before. You can press previous, and it goes back to the form, and you'll notice it remembers all the details Okay, and you can then go forward after you've corrected it. I'm going to say this is okay, I'm going to go forward. Okay, so I'll go to the next stage. So I'm going to put in my name, Bob Artist. For the email address, I'm going to use the company one for the website because I don't want to put any sensitive information into the form on a video. Okay, artistic.org. Right, it'll ask you to verify that this is important for this type of form because you don't want it to automatically go off to some stranger's email address. Okay, and then you can just put in a telephone number. I'm just going to put a random one in. How random can that be? Okay, and then I'm going to put in some kind of artistic address. So 45 Degar Avenue. Small palette. Oops. Small palette. And then we can say, let's say it's in London. Okay. And London is in, I think it's in Essex. I'll probably get complaints if it's not. Okay. It's probably called Greater London actually, but anyway, I'll say it's Essex. And then we can just put a random postcode. It doesn't have to be the exact one for this because I'm just showing you how it's done. Okay, and then on country, what we can do here is we can actually type in, and obviously London's in the United Kingdom, so I can just type in United and it'll give you options for all the Uniteds. So you can just then press Kingdom, and that part of the form's ready. Okay, now this, if you're doing it as an agent, would basically mean you have to do the same here. So artist name is Bob Artist, as I put. Okay, email address was that one, and the phone number I'm just going to copy it over because you'll be doing this fresh. It won't be copied, but just to save some time, as it's the same information. Okay, so you would just normally type this in as an agent, knowing your client's details, like so. Okay, and again just type in United Kingdom. Okay, now you'll notice this is the agent's version of the form, and something else happened, whereas it didn't happen on the original one. On the original one it allows you to then just go to the next stage, which I'll click, and then I'll just quickly bounce to this again. For the legal one you need to actually put in new information. Now I'm just going to put in a different address because this is going to show you how it all works at the end result, so you can see that these are actually appearing. Okay, like so. Now it says the phone number for the legal services. You don't actually, oops, I think I actually put in, yeah, some stuff. So as I said, I've done some autofill on this one from previous one. Okay, so let's just assume that's my legal address. You can, even though it's not got the actual searching option on this part of the pop-up menu, you can actually just literally type, and it gives you a jump to anything that's typed quickly enough. Okay, so we can then select United Kingdom, and that allows you then to go to next. Okay, so I'm going to click next again. Whilst it's doing that, I'm going to go back to the original one as an artist. Okay, and what this does is it allows you to then do step 4, which is to talk about your work. Okay, I'm going to do here is just put in some random information. Nice picture, let's say. That's what it's called. Or nice picture 001. Okay, yeah, say it's a painting. You'll notice there, I'll just hold down. You have some options to choose from: painting, illustration, photograph, character, logo, design, other. Okay, this will change as I might find other options to put in there as I develop the form, but standard ones I put in for now. Now you may want to add a link to you need to add a link to the actual place where it has been published. Now this could be your own website, It could be the agent's website if you're using a original site.com, say. Okay, and also you need to officially, through the DMCA's for purposes of verification, add the publication date. Now let's just say I did it in 22nd of May 2002. Okay, now this bit here, it says 500 characters, and there is a little gauge there that shows you how many characters you're using. So it's just to allow the form not to get overpopulated with lots of dialogue. Okay, so basically within 500 words you need to try to give some kind of emphasis on the painting to say how unique it is, so people can understand what it looks like from the actual description. Okay, so a painting on canvas using oil paint with strong black lines and gold circles in the middle of the crosses. That's just something random I thought of it, but you have to be more specific and make sure you say things that are very unique about the actual artwork, not it's an oil painting, because how do they know what's special about that oil painting? So try to find points about it that make it more unique as an actual object that they can recognize. Okay, now at this point you'll notice, as we said, we've put some reference to the actual site where they can see the original one, the published version. Now you may want to add some extra ones, like you may, as I said, have a version on an agent's website, so you could add extra locations there. I'm not going to do anything because basically it does work. I'll do it on the other form, but I'm going to show you both options. So I'm going to leave this one missing so you can see what happens on the other one. So once all that's done, you can press next, but I just need to copy paste this over because it will be this exact same details if you're an actual agent as well. You remember painting like that. You remember I did 2012 May the 22nd. Okay, and then the characteristics like so. Okay, you notice if you look, it's actually gone down. So it's got 108 characters out of 500, so that's quite a lot of text you can put in. Okay, now on this one now I'm just going to put a different, you can have 4 actual locations, so there's 3 extra ones you can put, but for this one I'm actually going to just literally put agent website.com as an example. Okay, to show you it will appear on the form. Alright, now what you can do now is, if you're happy with that, you can press next, but as I said, you can always go back if you think you made a mistake. That goes forward, that goes forward. The next one is to talk about the infringing work. Oops. You can't have an underscore. Alright, so you've got to just basically do that. At least it shows you that it actually has errors. If you do something wrong, it will do that for you. Okay, that's passed on to the next stage. You'll see it's gone. It looks a little bit similar, so you don't know whether you've actually gone. So you always check at the top. It says step 5 of 6, infringing work. Okay, now this here, you just put the name of the website where you've actually found it. So it could be Bad Thief. Okay, that's the name of the site, or it could be badthief.com or whatever. Okay, but it's just a name. Okay, so we'll just say it's going to be called Bad Thief, and then you just literally put in the name, the URL of the actual location. So we're going to say badthief.com, and then it will be my artwork. Oops, make sure I don't put, okay, my artwork stolen .html, for example. That would be a link to the actual place where you would find my artwork being used illegally. Okay, now the reason for reporting, you could say stolen image used on a counterfeit product. Someone's actually adjusted your image and selling it as their own or using it as their own, or it could be a profile image on social media, something like that. Okay, I will add more to these as I find terms and reasons for doing it as well. Okay, but for this moment I'm just going to say it's a stolen image, and then I'm just going to put some details. The person has taken my creation and is using it without permission on their own website. There is no accreditation, or I received no notification or payment. Okay, so that's one way of actually doing something. Alright, now you notice there's no limit there, because you may want to make an excessive amount of description about what you think the infringement is, so we allow you to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to copy all this stuff, okay, just so I can quickly put all the information there. You notice as soon as you put this selection here, it allows you to add the additional links. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, because that's all filled in now, because I did the additional links on the agent one, which is this one, I'm going to show you that if you leave this for the time being, and I'm going to put additional links for places on their website that you may find your artwork multiple times. Okay, so I'm going to copy that just for now. You would automatically copy paste it off from the website, and you're allowed to put 5 in, so there's the original 1 plus these 4. So I'm just going to say here, and just on there I'm going to put 2. I'm hoping it's going to allow for that underscore, probably won't, so I'm going to do that one. I'll put 2 in, I won't put all of them in, so I'll just show you how it works. So this, for instance, you may find 3 different URLs. Okay, I'm just doing that as a basic understanding of how it works. Alright, now when you're happy with that, you press next, and this goes to the final stage, the confirmation, basically the legality part of the form. If you're not a subscribed user or an administrator on the site, you will get a thing saying that it costs 20 cents to send this form. Okay, and then when you press send, it will also basically go through the gateway for PayPal and also ask you to pay the price. It doesn't appear on this form, but I can promise you it does happen. Okay, alright, you'll also notice it gives you a little kind of a statement here. Some of the forms take a while to actually process the data, so there's a spinning wheel here, and it says after the submitting, which will appear here in a minute, after submitting, wait until you see the confirmation screen, because if you do it before that, close the window before that, the data won't get sent and you won't get your form, etc. Okay, but more than likely, if you're doing it through the non-subscribed way, you'll actually get the confirmations as soon as you've made the PayPal payment. Okay, you notice you can't submit it at this point, so what you do is it's just making you realize you have to do these 2 legal check boxes, which means you're actually abiding by the law and you're saying that everything on the form is legitimate and you're not lying about anything on the form. Okay, now I do the same there. Okay, and you notice it appears. Alright, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do 2 different options again, and there's 4 options for each form basically, if you think about it, but I'm going to just show you alternate ones for each one. Now most of the time a digital signature, you'll see this on most of the online forms, will be good enough, but you may want to add a real signature. This is if you've got a tablet assigned to your computer, so you can do the option of both. So on this one I'll do a digital signature, on the agent one I'll do a real signature to show how it works. You notice you'll get a little palette thing that you can write a signature on here. All you need to do is just literally type in your details. Okay, and oops, it wasn't that, it was it was Bob Artist. Okay, and here you can actually, I'm just going to do a very rough one, it won't be, but if you had a pen assigned to this, you could assume that's your signature. Okay, what you do then is you can either go back through the whole form to make sure that everything is correct, because obviously this is going to get sent off to somewhere. If it's not, well, it's going to be sent to you. If you use one of the other forms, it will be sent somewhere else, so you want to make sure everything is as it should be. Okay, if you're happy whilst you were going through it, you can literally press submit. I'll do this one first so they appear in my inbox in the proper way. Okay, so I'm going to press submit. You'll notice the spinny wheel, and then once you've done, you'll get the confirmation screen. It says complete, and here you'll get an indication that you've done something correct, because basically it says thank you for your service, blah 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 blah. And it actually says, you remember we put the term bad thief as the name of the site, and there it shows you that you actually sent it to that company. Okay, also you'll notice it here, it says if you'd like to send another form, you can click here. As soon as you click there, it will just reload the form from the beginning. All the data will be wiped out, so you won't have any of the old data, but if you do want to send it to the same people, it should auto-complete depending on how you've set up your web browser. Okay, now I'm going to send this one off. As I said, sometimes it takes longer because of the signature, but there you go, it's quite quick because it's quite an easy form. And I won't do that one because you don't need to. So what I'm going to do now, the forms are both done and sent. I'm going to open up my email application. So what should appear for form 1 is literally one copy for each of those two forms I've sent. Okay, because you're going to be sending it out yourself. I will automatically, as a administrator, get a copy just to say that you've actually sent one, and you would notice, if I've removed it now, you would have noticed it actually records the IP address that it's been sent from. So I'll show you on this form. Actually, you see it's from, and it actually tells you what application is. This is for debugging reasons as well. If there's any issues, I can tell you which browser you've been using, but basically the IP is just to log it, so if any misuse or abuse of it has gone through, I can block people using the form based on their IP address. Okay, but I'm assuming that everybody's going to use these forms correctly. Okay, but you'll see that I've got two versions. This one here is basically saying the PayPal went through, and it's for Bob Artist, who's the actual artist version. Okay, and this says, you know, letter sent to you from the form builder. If I click on the second one, which is should be for the actual representation, it still says Bob Artist, but at the end it says with John Doe representing. You see, so there's a little slight change again. You'll notice again it's put in the name of the website. Okay, so that just tells me who's done what. Okay, now the next part is the actual data. This is the first form. None of the actual data as seen in this form, this part of it, will go to anybody. This is just for you. This is just to show you what you've actually filled in. Okay, that's everything you've done. Remember, digital signature. So it gives you a reasoning to understand that everything has been put in properly. Okay, and then at the end you'll notice we have the PDF, which is this one. And you'll notice it actually fills everything in as I stated. So it says Dear Bad Thief, which is the name of the company, I, the artist name, blah blah blah, copyright, registered designator, material belongs to me and appears legally in the service of the following. Nice picture, remember. The infringing material appears on, you remember that, okay, and the original material appears on my website here. Okay, and it gives you your contact details, good faith, blah blah blah, and it's signed digitally, because if you remember we did a digital, if you see the digital signature, your name. Okay, that's your PDF. you can download that and then send it off to the person you want to put a claim in against. Now I'm going to leave that open like that, so hopefully the other one will appear in the same way from the actual solicitor. But you'll notice here it says John Doe. Okay, you notice it says I'm the agent for the copyright holder, blah blah. It's got all the details for the legal representation down there. It didn't open the same way. But you'll notice it's got the real signature there. And what we'll do is we'll just click on spacebar, which actually will open it up for you. Okay, and you'll notice it's Bad Thief, John Doe, and it adds extra text here. You see, I am the legal representative of Bob, the artist. Okay, and I via myself, blah blah blah. Okay, so this is all correct. Slight differences. This is all the same because it's basically the same as the artist's work. But you'll notice the contact information has changed because obviously you're the legal representative and not the artist. Okay, and you'll also notice at the end the actual signature appears rather than the digital signature because you obviously signed it with a real signature. Okay, so that's your form that you send off to the actual infringing party. So that's the two ways you can use the first form. Quite simple, straightforward, and you get a PDF that you can do with whatever you want. Okay.